Hello and welcome to today's class. Today our topic is a poem, The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes, and this is for class 11. A poet was an English poet and a children's writer. The critics have believed him to be one of the best poets of his generation, and he was one of the greatest writers of the 20th century. He also served as poet laureate from 1984 until he died. I think the central idea of the poem, The Laburnum Top, is the fact that our life is dull and monotonous, and few activities in a life brings some sense of excitement and joy, and it's momentary. It happens for a short duration, and once again this activity ends, we again go back to the same dull and monotonous life. And probably the poet also wants to tell us that how we should react to such activities, what how it is a person's attitude that gives meaning to the lives that they live. Hello and welcome to today's class. Today our topic is a poem, The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes, and this is for class 11. Before we start the poem, let me introduce two most important elements in the poem. The first is the laburnum tree, which is a short tree with hanging branches, yellow flowers, and poisonous seeds. And the second is the goldfinch, which is a small singing bird with yellow feathers on its wings. Let's now discuss the poem. The laburnum top is silent, quite still in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. So, in the very first three lines of the poem, we are introduced to the laburnum tree, which is silent and still and quiet. And it's a beautiful sunny autumn afternoon. The laburnum tree has yellow leaves and yellow flowers in the month of September. As it's autumn season, the leaves have turned yellow and all the seeds have fallen. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirp, a suddenness, a startlement at the branch end. Then, sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness, and a machine starts up. Of chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings, the whole tree trembles and trills. In these lines, we see that the silence of the laburnum tree, which was described in the last stanza, it is only till the goldfinch arrives at the branch end. The goldfinch arrives with a sudden chirp, and the branch end comes into motion. So the landing of the bird gives motion to the branch end. The bird then very slowly and smoothly enters the dense part of the tree, and here the bird goldfinch has been compared to the lizard because of its movement. Very slowly and smooth movement of the bird is compared to that of a lizard. As the mother goldfinch reaches the thick part of the tree, there is a sudden movement. It seems with the arrival of the goldfinch, a machine has started, a machine of chitterings and tremors and trillings. So, when the mother goldfinch arrives with the food in her mouth, the young ones, the young goldfinch, they become excited, and the excitement is seen through the flap of the wings and the chirping sound that they make. And because it's as if suddenly some sound has started, movement has started, the poet has compared the young goldfinch to that of a machine. So the children here, the young ones, are being compared to a machine. And with the movement and the sound of the young ones, the whole tree trembles and trills. So, this movement of the birds, the flapping and the chirping, it shakes the tree and gives a sense of excitement to the silent laburnum tree. It is the engine of a family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. So, in these lines, we see that the mother goldfinch is the engine of a family, because engine is a very vital part of any machine. So, she is also a very vital, important part for the family. And when she arrives with the food, she feeds the children, she stokes it full. So as you fill fuel to the engine, in a similar manner she is filling the children with the food. And once she has finished, she flirts out to the branch end. So as she came, she flirts out, that is, she flies to the branch end, she goes to the branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. So all the hanging leaves of the laburnum tree, when they fall on the face of the goldfinch, it seems that her face has bars on it, and which is masking, which is hiding the identity of the goldfinch. So these falling branches of the laburnum tree, they seem or they appear to be like stripes or bars on the face of the goldfinch, which hides the identity of the goldfinch. Then, with airy, delicate whistle, chirrup, whispering, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. So, in these lines, we see that the bird, the mother bird, goldfinch, once she has fed the children, she moves very slowly again to the branch end, and there, with a very strange yet delicate chirpings, which is like whisperings and whistle, she flies away towards the infinite. So infinite here is the infinite sky. So once she's fed the children, she launches away, she again flies off in search of food. And once the goldfinch has left, the laburnum again comes to emptiness. So it's again, it seems it is lifeless, quiet and silent once the goldfinch flies off. The theme probably of the poem is the relationship between the laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird, which is a mutual sort of a relationship where the tree, which is yellow, silent, and death-like, is the home of the birds. It is the tree that is protecting the young ones, and in return, the bird, the goldfinch, makes gives life to the tree. It makes it alive, it makes it excited and happy, like for some time. So this is a mutual relationship where the goldfinch gives happiness and the laburnum tree gives shelter to the young ones. Let's discuss few of the literary devices that have been used in the poem. The first is alliteration. So here we have few examples: September sunlight and tree trembles. The second literary device is simile, which is a direct comparison. So as we see in the poem, she has been compared to the lizard. So the example of simile in the poem is sleek as a lizard. The third literary device is metaphor, which is an indirect comparison. So we have few examples here. She enters the thickness and a machine starts up. So this is the machine here. The noise created by the movement of the birds is compared to that of the machine's noise. She is the engine of a family. So here the engine is the goldfinch. So directly we don't say the goldfinch is the engine, but through the poem we come to know that she's been compared, showing her barred face identity mask. The fourth type of poetic device is personification. So here the tree has been given the human quality of trembling and getting excited. So the whole tree trembles and trills. So the tree which is silent, suddenly it starts shaking and gets excited. So that's the personification. The tree has been personified. Next is the transferred epithet, which is a figure of device where the adverb is transferred to another noun. So her barred face identity mask. The flowers of the laburnum tree falls like bars, and when the bird sits behind the flowers, the shadow of the flowers on her face looks like she is wearing a mask that has bars on it. The sixth type of poetic device is onomatopoeia, which is when the word formed is similar to the sound. So it's actually a sound poetic device. So you can see this, the words that are written, they are similar to the sound that they produce. So twitching chirp, chitterings, trillings, whistle chirp. So these are the poetic devices of onomatopoeia. Let's discuss few question answers. The first question is, how does the poet describe the laburnum tree top? So as we have seen in the first stanza, the laburnum tree top is silent and still in the afternoon of yellow September sunlight. Its few leaves are yellowing and the seeds have already fallen. The second question is, how does the laburnum tree appear in September? In the afternoon of September, which is autumn, the beginning of autumn, the laburnum top appears silent and is quite still. A few leaves of the tree have already turned yellow and the seeds have fallen. The third question is, what does the goldfinch do after showing her barred face? The goldfinch shows her barred face and chirps in strange and fearful whisperings. Her chirping changes into a delicate whisperings. After singing to the full, she flies away into the sky. Fourth question, what happens to the laburnum tree after the goldfinch flies away? After singing, the goldfinch flies away into the infinite, which is towards the infinite sky. The laburnum tree again becomes silent and quiet, and emptiness comes to it, and it becomes almost silent like death, as it was in the beginning of the poem. How does the poet describe the beauty of the goldfinch? The poet describes the beauty of the goldfinch in the way it chirps. It brings life to the silent and empty laburnum tree. The chirping is musical and life has been brought to the tree in its singing. And this is the beauty of the goldfinch. Thank you. I hope you liked the video and you found it helpful. Stay connected for many such videos coming up.